Hey guys, it's Mike Mas. Welcome to another segment in my series of RV lithium upgrades. This lithium upgrade is going to be different and unique from my others, where I normally remove the AGM batteries, then design, rewire, and install a 30 to 50 amp lithium system with solar to support the lithium capacity. In this video, instead of removing the AGM batteries, I'll actually rip out this brand new 300 amp battleboard factory lithium upgrade from Renegade to make way for a professional EcoFlow Delta RV lithium upgrade and central AC system using this great looking Veracruz Super C. After a decade of designing RV lithium systems for RV manufacturers and major vendors such as Xantrex Corporation, Victron, and Lithionics, I wanted to change gears and design a professional RV system using power stations designed for emergency home use and recreation. In fact, I've been using power stations on my edit suite for some time now to avoid grid problems. For years, I've been studying EcoFlow and their power stations and watched this company evolve over others by their quest to improve their products. For this reason, I finally pulled the trigger and purchased 2 power stations, 2 batteries, 2 800-watt chargers, and a Wave AC unit, and designed a professional RV lithium system for my new Veracruz Super C. While I considered EcoFlow's 3600 larger and heavier Pro Series with 240 volts and an RV port, the 240 volts offers no advantage for RVs since there's nothing in an RV that uses 240 volts. While RVs do use a 240 volt plug for both 30 and 50 amp service, the 120 volt legs are separated at the fuse panel to run one AC on one leg and another AC on the other. My Veracruz Pro Lithium system is powered using 2 Delta 2 Max power stations. Each station is also equipped with an extra 2400 watt-hour smart battery. Once the smart battery is added to the power station, they become a single 4800 watt-hour battery with regard to their output and charging. With the 4 modules, my EcoFlow system provides 8 kW with 9600 watt-hour capacity to power the Veracruz. I designed the Veracruz EcoFlow system to be similar in design to my 5112 dual battery, dual inverter system, which I designed for Newmar's Cannon Star toy hauler. My 5112 system uses 2 separate 51 volt lithium systems which work individually of each other. There's a 32,000 watt-hour system dedicated only for inversion to power the Newmar's 3 roof air conditioners. The second system powers the coach's 12 volt devices such as their slides and leveling jacks. I designed my Veracruz EcoFlow Delta upgrade to use 2 separate lithium systems as well. A Delta 2 Max station and battery is dedicated to power the Veracruz 120 volt devices and roof air conditioner. My second Delta power station is used exclusively to power the Li-PAC system, which is my lithium-powered air conditioner upgrade. Aside from using EcoFlow for my Veracruz lithium system, I also chose EcoFlow's Wave 2 heat pump air conditioner for my central AC system. The Wave 2's primary purpose is to provide overnight air conditioning while off the grid for a comfortable night's sleep. The Wave 2's multi-speed compressor in Eco mode uses only 250 watts, providing 6 to 8 hours of operation using only 1 kW of consumption. With my dedicated 4800 watt-hour station, the Wave 2 can run for 4 nights or run 24/7 using my solar system. The Wave 2 provides 5,100 BTU of cooling and 6,100 BTU of heat. Aside from providing overnight AC comfort off the grid, the Wave 2 can be used in conjunction with the dash air as you're driving or used to cool the coach while parked at a Cracker Barrel enjoying a meal. I'll cover my Wave 2 installation later in this video. Getting back to our Delta 2 Max lithium system, what makes the EcoFlow power station so amazing is unlike a typical RV lithium upgrade requiring lithium batteries, an inverter charger, a down converter, solar controller, fuses, copper wire cables, and labor to wire it together, EcoFlow integrates all these components into one compact fan-cooled module, costing 50 to 70% less than a conventional system. Each Delta 2 Max power station can accept up to 2 extra smart batteries, boosting the station to 7,200 watt-hours. This expansion capability allows RV owners to start off with one Delta 2 Max station and expand it later by adding 1 or 2 extra smart batteries. Another distinct advantage is the fact that the EcoFlow power stations use a 48-volt architecture rather than 12 volts. This means the EcoFlow station can charge its batteries and output AC using 75% less amperage with less heat and losses than a typical 12-volt lithium battery system. To better understand, let's look at my short clip showing the advantages of a 48-volt lithium system for RVs.
The best way to explain the advantages using a 48-volt battery with an inverter is best illustrated in this example, which uses a 12-volt, 24-volt and a 48-volt battery. For this example, we have the roof air conditioner drawing 1,500 watts, and a 1-burner cooktop using 900 watts for a total of 2,400 watts. As we look at our illustration using 3 different batteries, the 12-volt battery requires 200 amps through its cables and connectors to the inverter to satisfy the 2,400 watt load. However, the 24-volt battery only requires 100 amps to power the same 2,400 watt load, or half the amperage requirements of the 12-volt system. Finally, as we look at the 48-volt system, this battery only has to provide a mere 50 amps to satisfy the same 2,400 watt load, or only 25% the amperage of the 12-volt battery. As this comparison shows, a 12-volt system requires 4 times the amperage to supply the same load when compared to a 48-volt system. When there is heat and losses, there's a voltage drop as well. This is why when we measure the voltage at the battery, it's always higher than the voltage at the inverter. For this reason, a 48-volt system will result in less voltage drop when compared to a 12-volt system. In conclusion, since a 48 to 51-volt system generates less heat and losses with less voltage sag, the result is increased battery capacity.
EcoFlow's power stations, smart batteries, chargers, and Wave AC unit are all Wi-Fi and Bluetooth internet controlled from anywhere in the world right from your cell. As you add additional EcoFlow stations, batteries, and chargers, they all show up on the same homepage. The EcoFlow app is user-friendly. At the center you'll find battery percentage and time to charge or discharge, and graphics showing inputs at the top and outputs at the bottom. In the setting menus there's tons of parameters allowing the owner to allow charging rates to a blazing 1,800 watts. Charging levels can also be set to preserve the battery to stop discharging at 5% and limit charging to 85%. As one looks over the EcoFlow power station, there's little doubt a talented design team was used to pack all these components together and end up with such a great looking power station that not only looks high-tech but is. Located around the perimeter, you'll find air grills for the super-quiet cooling fans. On one side panel, there's 2 battery ports which accommodate smart batteries or EcoFlow's 800-watt alternator charger, which we installed and we'll discuss later. The front panel's large LED displays battery capacity as well as remaining time to full charge or depletion. The display also shows incoming and outgoing wattage as well as a number of icons to show extra batteries and numerous other parameters. Below you'll find a number of USB A and C charging ports and the power switch. Moving to the rear, you'll find the business end of the station. There's a power port and 2 XT60 ports for importing up to 1,000 watts of solar to the onboard MPPT solar controller. These same ports are also used to charge the Delta's battery from an external 12-volt source up to 8 amps. There's also a breaker and a high-low charging switch. Below you'll find 6 15-amp 120-volt receptacles with a combined output of 2,400 watts. There's also a lighter plug and 2 5521 ports. While the 12-volt lighter plug is limited to 10 amps and 12 volts, it's suitable for small RVs to power lights or even a 12-volt refrigerator. The Delta 2 Max also offers X-Boost, which increases output to a continuous 3,400 watts at lower amperage, or the inverter can surge to 4,800 watts momentarily. All Delta power stations are known for their extreme fast charging thanks to their 48-volt operating system. The Delta 2 Max's onboard 48-volt charger can reach up to 1800 watts, which is some serious charging for any power station. I designed my Veracruz 120-volt wiring so both power stations can charge simultaneously at 3600 watts from my Onan 8 kW diesel generator, which can output 72 amps. While it's not within the context of this film to cover the lithium upgrade and wiring in detail, I'll provide an overview and some notes. Note RV lithium systems require knowledge and safety protocols and strict wiring diagrams for integration to the RV's wiring system. If you're not familiar with RV and lithium systems, find a licensed upfitter for your installation. While I considered using EcoFlow's PowerKit lithium components, similar to Victron and Xantrex, I wanted my Veracruz system to be unique and different to demonstrate that EcoFlow's power stations can be used for professional RV installation as well. My Veracruz EcoFlow system has a capacity of 9,600 watt-hours. I found EcoFlow stations to be fairly efficient, providing about 90% of the rated capacity. Regarding capacity, all lithium batteries utilize a high and low non-usable buffer, which retains about 10 to 20%. So regardless of percentage shown, you can never fully charge or fully discharge your battery. Like any RV lithium system, there are expected losses from the inverter, down converters, solar controller, main processor, LED display, and even the cooling fans. Unlike a Xantrex inverter, which employs current sensing, which shuts down the inverter when there's no load, EcoFlow stations run continuously. Therefore, disabling AC power when not in use adds capacity. The inverter can consume 3 to 4% a day sitting idle with no loads. It's important to note cell temperature plays a major role with lithium iron phosphate capacity. While the main processor will derate or shut down the station at extreme temperatures losses can exceed 25 to 40% of battery capacity. Therefore, a power station's environment in an RV, van, or even your home is of prime importance. Unlike Xantrex and lithionic modules, Delta stations provide no cell heating for winter. Also note each time a battery is charged or discharged in freezing temperatures, it creates plating, a permanent damage to the cells. In brief, as temperatures drop, the electrolyte between the cells thickens. The colder the temperature, the thicker the electrolyte becomes. As the ions attempt to pass through the thickened electrolyte during discharge and charging, some ions fail to reach the other plate and remain permanently lodged in the electrolyte. As thousands of ions become permanently lodged, they form an insulated barrier called plating, which permanently reduces both efficiency and battery capacity. For this reason, if a battery is not heated, I'll include a compartment heater using extreme RV and marine heaters to maintain compartment temperatures above 38 degrees. Extreme heaters are all metal and fully automatic. They are 120 volt powered by the Delta station or shore power during off use. For summer use, the lithium batteries require outside ventilation. System heat must be removed from the compartment using openings and fans for positive ventilation to retain battery cycles and life. Depending on environment, most lithium batteries offer a 3000 life cycle. This means if you were to fully discharge and recharge a power station every single day, you could do it for 8 continuous years and the battery would still retain 70 to 80% capacity and be fully usable. I designed my Veracruz EcoFlow Delta Upgrade to use 2 separate lithium systems, consisting of 2 Delta 2 Max power stations and 2 smart batteries. Beginning with the Wave 2 battery set, 120 volt output from this Delta station is directed to a disconnect fuse panel mounted in the compartment. From the panel, the station's output is wired directly to a receptacle adjacent to Wave 2. 120 volt house power for the RV is provided by a second Delta 2 Max station and extra battery. This station's output is also fused at the compartment panel. Output is wired to a second dedicated master fuse panel in the Veracruz similar to a conventional lithium upgrade. Since Delta stations are portable, they have no real earth ground. Therefore, ground and neutral are bonded and isolated from other sources. The house system works in conjunction with the three-way transfer switch shared with the Onan 8 kW diesel generator and shore power. With regard to 12-volt power for the coach, since the Delta 2 Max only outputs 10 amps at 12 volts, it's insufficient to power the coach's jacks and slides. For this reason, I rewired the main 12-volt bus to use the chassis batteries to power the coach's 12-volt devices. I designed the install so both Delta power stations have their own 500-watt solar panel set for charging. This allows the Wave 2 air conditioner to run in eco mode solely on the panel's output. As an overview to my Li-PAC AC system, as mentioned, the overnight Wave 2 air conditioner is powered by its own power station. The Wave 2 is mounted in an entertainment cabinet directly across the coach's Murphy bed, which serves as a couch during the day. By opening a single door, the Wave 2 provides 5,100 BTU of cooling or 6,100 BTU of heat flowing directly across the couch and Murphy bed, providing whisper-quiet comfort. Consuming only 200 to 400 watts, the Wave 2 can also be used while driving down the highway or even used to keep the RV cool while enjoying a meal at Cracker Barrel. Thanks to the Wave 2's low power and eco mode, it can operate all night using only 1 kilowatt. While installation will vary coach to coach, I had to relocate a ton of plumbing under the cabinet to allow the ductwork to exit under the coach hidden from view. When cooling, one exhaust duct pushes hot air outside under the coach, while the other duct intakes cooler air for the condenser. Since the plastic exhaust ducts release unwanted heat in the coach, I insulated the entire duct. This is now the third Wave AC system I've installed in RVs with great results. The Wave 2 offers a new era in comfortable sleeping while off the grid. When it comes to charging EcoFlow power stations on the road, EcoFlow offers their own DC to DC 800-watt alternator charger module. A great feature of the Eco Charger is it can charge an extra smart battery without the station being cabled to it. Installation of the EcoFlow charger is straightforward. Needed cables are provided and there's only one connection to the engine battery. A heavy gauge fuse cable connects the positive and negative terminals to the engine battery and you're up and running. Note, while the EcoFlow manual mentions using the RV house battery for the Eco Charger, this should be avoided since the battery's isolator will act as a firewall to separate the chassis battery and alternator from the Eco Charger. Also, since house batteries are charged by the inverter when parked, this could create other problems as well. The charger is EcoFlow app supported, allowing the user to select a custom trigger voltage and other charging parameters and levels. By setting a trigger voltage, say 13 volts, once the engine starts and the battery voltage exceeds 13 volts, the charger automatically begins charging the Delta station or an extra battery at a custom level. Trigger voltage should be set high enough so when the engine stops, the charger turns off to prevent any further discharge of the chassis battery. A needed firmware upgrade for EcoFlow to consider is to allow half-volt increments, allowing say 12.5 or 13.5 volt settings, since alternator voltage differs vehicle to vehicle. The EcoFlow charger also allows reverse charging of the chassis battery at around 20 amps should it need charging. There's also a maintenance feature, which trickle charges the chassis battery around 3 amps. Since my system was designed with separate EcoFlow power stations, I installed 2 separate 800-watt chargers as well. Since all my RVs will eventually be upgraded to lithium, I always order dual alternators to support lithium charging. If your RV, van, or car is not equipped with a heavy-duty alternator or dual alternators, avoid charging at 800 watts since standard alternators are not designed for continuous high output. High 800-watt charging combined with vehicle loads will result in heat-related damage to the windings coatings as well as heat-related bearing failures. For stock alternators, limit charging to 400 watts or less, which is more in line to Victron's DC to DC charger. Also avoid charging anytime the vehicle is stationary. It's the worst thing you can do to an alternator. Alternators rely on forced frontal air from movement to assist the internal fan and transfer heat from the alternator's windings and case. Finally, while there are less costly alternatives using the XT60 ports, the Eco Charger provides compatibility and safe charging of EcoFlow power stations. While not part of my install, EcoFlow offers a gas and propane generator which can be an alternative power source for travel trailers or fifth wheels without generators. I purchased my EcoFlow generator for emergency backup and recharging of our Delta stations used for our master edit suite. While no lightweight at 65 pounds, it can provide an important role for home and RV use. The Eco generator is powered using a single-cylinder overhead valve 80cc engine, which varies in output from 1600 to 1800 watts depending on fuel. The generator is supplied with a quick disconnect LPG hose with regulator and a length of interface cable for connection to the Delta station. A 20-pound bottle provides around 18 to 20 kilowatt or about 10 to 12 hours of runtime, while a tank of gas outputs 4 to 5 kilowatt and roughly 3 hours of runtime. Like power stations, the generator app allows adjustment of parameters and charging levels right from your cell. The generator's design is well planned. A large inspection panel provides access to the entire generator for inspection and maintenance. While a pull start is provided, a small lithium battery and electric starter allows automatic starting and stopping of the generator based on charge settings in the app. Like a Honda, the EcoFlow generator also provides a 120-volt inverter output receptacle to power other devices. Note that charging an EcoFlow power station with a Honda or a conventional generator will result in double inverter losses. There's losses from the Honda's inverter as it converts generator power to 120 volts AC. Then there's losses again when the power station has to take 120 volts and convert it to 48 volts DC to charge its own battery. Unique to just the EcoFlow generator is it produces 48 volts, allowing DC to DC charging of a Delta station, making it more efficient than, say, a Honda. Since the Eco generator runs at higher RPMs than most generators, I charge around 1,000 watts since these small engines are more efficient at slow speeds rather than running nearly wide open. Note, if your RV has a smart transfer switch, it won't allow use of the Eco generator since portable generators do not have a bonded earth ground. Therefore, the generator's ground and neutral needs to be bonded. You can find bonding plugs on Amazon. On my bonding plug, I use a 10 amp fuse for safety, which will open should a ground loop occur. This also allows me to first check things with a meter as well. All in all, while I'm still hanging on to my Honda generator, the EcoFlow generator does provide efficient DC to DC charging, full compatibility, and the safest solution to charge Delta power stations. Finally, I'd like to say a few words about my Renegade Veracruz. Once behind the wheel, driving the Veracruz isn't much different than driving a heavy-duty pickup or SUV. The Veracruz body is mounted on a hefty Ford F550 4x4 diesel chassis, allowing visiting off-road attractions or winter travel. Once inside, with the 12-foot slide extended, the Veracruz offers the most spacious floor plan of any 30-foot coach available. Renegade's design team located the bathroom full aft, so gone is the typical mid-bath which always blocked the living space. The Veracruz is wide open front to rear. While most owners prefer a permanent bedroom, a Murphy bed with a real inner spring mattress keeps the coach 10 feet shorter, so instead of dealing with a 40-foot coach, you're only 30 feet in length. The Wave 2 air conditioner is located directly across the couch for day lounging, which turns into a Murphy bed at night to provide a comfortable night's sleep off the grid. My Veracruz is used mostly for my consulting business. One of my trades since the 80s was the design and development of Helicam, the world's first successful heavy-lift military drone for frontline defense. Since Helicam requires continued flight tests and consulting, it's not uncommon for us to be pinned down at a test range for days at a time without shore power. Therefore, having an RV with a good lithium and solar system backed by an Onan 8 kW diesel generator makes this all possible. Finally, while EcoFlow Delta stations were used in this RV to show they can be used for dual purposes, EcoFlow power stations are not intended to be a replacement for pro systems such as Xantrex, Vitron, Lithionics, and others, to provide additional layers of conformability and safety. In conclusion, I hope you enjoyed my EcoFlow Lithium and Wave 2 install. Note this production is non-sponsored. All equipment shown to include the Veracruz RV was purchased retail. For more information on EcoFlow power stations or Renegade RV, visit their website shown. If you would like to see other films on lithium systems, solar, and RV electronics, visit my ad-free personal website at www.rvvolt.com, where you'll find a number of systems I designed for major companies such as Xantrex, Victron, and Lithionics Battery, as well as other information. Thanks for watching.